Hello, you fans of the Walrus and the horse. Walrus horse. Because we're looking at the Iron Horse, which is an old pedal. Why are we doing this? Because as Walrus does, they don't just ride on there, get right, because it's a horse. Ride on their laurels, does that say sit on their ass? I don't know. They don't just say, okay, pedal's good, we like it, we keep it. No, they have new ideas, which means something like top-loaded ins and outs and everything top-loaded, which they have been doing. So they update their pedals. They have soft clicky switches. They update the Iron Horse with a soft clicky. And they make a big release out of it. But also the C-LED knob, which stands for two things, C and LED. Like the Zeppelin, and C as the yes in Spanish. Yes, Zeppelin. I don't know, I'm making this shit up. Apparently it's silicium, silicone, something about a transistor, and LED for also a different kind of transistor. And it changes the internal. Who gives a crap what it does internally? Anyone who cares about this, how about you practice some freaking guitar and don't talk about on forums for 7 hours about the pros and cons of germanium versus lead versus silly whatever. That's silly. Dial it to what sounds good and frickin' play. Okay? You guys are discussing gear too much. Buy it, have fun with it. I didn't like the Iron Horse when I first had it a few years ago. To me, a distortion needs to be defined, and I was looking for a metal distortion, which it wasn't. It was blowing up way too much when I was feeding it with humbuckers. It just wasn't humbucker compatible, because when you look at the Walrus people, they don't play those fat-ass guitars. They play, they do play a lot of single coils. And they, of course, have SGs and stuff with humbuckers, but they don't have the guitars that really push it. So, to me, it wasn't happening. This is also not your metal distortion. If you're looking for a metal pedal, please go away. It's distortion, but it's that distortion to make a single coil thick, to make a humbucker wide and fat. It's perfect to give single notes a lot of size and to make power chords just break through walls. It's not your super defined high gain metal pedal. That's not the idea. Level makes loud. Tone makes it slightly different. Not as different as I might want, but it does make a different. Distortion is how much does it distort? And C and LED is the yes Zeppelin, of course. This is, of course, pedals in the way. Thank you. You can't even read that. It's a Panucci, here, right there, Panucci, Inspired Series 59. It's a ridiculous single cut from Holland, from my friend Angelo. Look at it, it's called the Palantir, because this actually looks like the Lord of the Rings crystal ball thing, which is called the Palantir. His neighbor said, looks like the Palantir. His neighbor is a nerd. It's one of the most exceptional guitars that I've ever played, and of course, Walrus Audio deserves no less than that. We're going to start right here. We're going to go, of course, into different amps, but we're going to start with the Tone King, Sky King down there. All the way to the left, which is a more hollow and broken-y sound, if I might say so. Broken-y, less low-end, and just more, here we go. That's me. Soft clicky. It's already distorting, it's not overdriving, but it's very pleasant. slight difference there on the Yes Zeppelin knob, but not major. It was playing minor. Fun. It's just fun. More gain. It's too, a little bit too squishy and too round for metal, but still, it's actually fun to play. Saturated, thick, and self noise. I mean, guitars down, pedals on, none. Nice. So you'll notice immediately how it's gonna warm and add serious fullness when I get more to these Led Zeppelin knob side. You have to fiddle the other knobs when you fiddle with one knob. Usually you fiddle on one side, you have to fiddle on the other side. It's not a metal pedal. It doesn't have to be. It's fun. It's fantastic, actually. The original one sounded too fuzzy for me. This isn't. It's got this little bit of fizzly fuzz on top, but it's nice. Imagination, you could hear a slight difference between Yes Zeppelin So both of them, and the Yes, and only the Zeppelin side. For me, this is a distinct sound. That's more saturated, more mids, and fatter in the low end. Is the in-between compared to the full-on lead really, really different? Yeah, something slightly shifts in the mids. Is it anything that's going to be relevant in a mix? Fuck no! So I'm going to say this is, as many of our pedal can do so many different things, a 2.5 things pedal. It's a lead sound, it's a Yes sound, and then here it's lead, but with a little bit of Yes. I mean, it's slightly shifted mids. Not a major mega difference. Let's look at tone. Tone is on there to look nice, and because an overdrive / distortion pedal needs a tone knob, it would have been nice if they had given it some function. Okay, yeah, a little bit, but I mean, not drastic. Not really so drastic as for me to really want to fiddle with it. Let's do some leads for fun. Oh, I can turn on these things from Universal Audio, which I know isn't going to make Walrus Audio happy that I don't have the D1 and the R1 there, which are fantastic, but, you know, they're not paying me enough to only use Walrus Audio. Get it? I can be bought. Can I? Really? Try it! For leads. So, what's left? We're going to take a sound that's kind of cool, maybe this. We're going to pump it into different amps. We're going to start, well, we have the Tone King already. We're going to go into the Soldano on clean, which is this. That's pretty fantastic because it's such a amp and that pedal adds to it. We're going to move on into a different thing, the Morgan MVP66, which is classic JTM territory. Damn, that's also fantastic. I didn't expect that. And we're going to move on into the orange Super Crush transistor amp, $499, on with the clean channel. I haven't tried this. Orange Super Crush. I'm having fun. That's sludgy, I guess. Doomy? I don't know. It's funny. That's what it is. Fun. But with, I don't know. The 9, we already had that. And the 10. That's the Marshall Mini Plexi SV20H. A little bit leaner. Also good. What the crap's going on? Into the Morgan AC20, which is Voxy. My first real 6-string. You know, get it? It's a song I wrote. It's a little bit more saturated in there. A little bit fizzy on the top end. What am I doing? But yeah. One more. JCM800. I expect low end. Missing a little bit of the top end there on the Marshall, but that's fine. Holy hell! I'm a little bit impressed. Usually my magic works and it gets bigger, but sometimes Leslie has to help. It was a penis joke. I was not a fan of the original Iron Horse. I'm extremely impressed how this horse goes into every amp and does its thing while still keeping some of the elements of what makes the amp the amp. 499 transistor orange, freaking awesome, which usually isn't the case. Going into an orange and into a transistor amp, this is weird, but it works. Into the JTM style MVP66, holy hell, into the Soldano, into any of them. It did its thing. It's not your cutting through super defined attacky metal sound, but it's great for making you forget that you're playing P90s, which are usually a little bit on the thinner side. It's killer for going into, I mean, you heard it in the track before, all with humbuckers, and I'm 100% convinced that they're going to show you loads of demos with single coils, so I didn't do that, because, you know, I need to be different. This is probably very good to give a Strat or Tele bridge pickup some oomph and some wididity. I'm impressed with the Iron Horse. When they sent it to me, I was like, oh no, Iron Horse, I'm going to have to bitch about it because I didn't like the original one. I think they made it a lot better, and it's utterly unique as a distortion pedal of not being the fuzz, of not being the metal thing, but being the higher gain, thicker distortion for the guy that doesn't want to play metal, but wants the really thick and meaty sounds. Well done, I'm going to say. I'm not saying that because they're paying me. I hope they're paying me. I don't know. It works. So, links below. Please use them. That helps me. And as always, you know, animals at the end.
Sky, the coldest night of my life. I feel let down, it's no surprise. There's Hollywood you never showed. There's Nifty seat next to me, 6:30. She's played at sea.